Check on it. Peace, YouTube. Let me fix myself up. Oh. Why is it doing this? Oh, hold on, family. This is crazy. I'm trying to play a song. You hear Key Sweat? Twisted? Okay. It's weird. I'm going to turn it off. It did something weird. It wouldn't let me start this live immediately. So, peace to everyone. Happy, blissful New Year's. New Year's was yesterday. I hope everyone. Do you guys, can you hear me okay? I've got the microphone on and I've fallen off the wagon all the way. So, I've got really crazy news for you. The convergence has happened and we're going to get into it and it's going to freak. I didn't even know if I should do this. Like it literally, that's how crazy what I'm going to share with you is. And some of you, it may have already happened to you. So, blissful New Year's. I hope everyone enjoyed yesterday. I know some of you are in quarantine. Okay. Oh, Melanated High Priestess, did you email me? My emails are off the kajugas. I'm going to look for you on my email. I know Jose and Melanie, those are my homies, and I haven't even contacted them. Hey, Jose. Hola. Papi, are you okay in New York? I gotta call you too. If I've fallen off contacting anyone, so much has happened, family, and it's gonna freak you out. So check on in. You good? I know Jose's good. You are a thoroughbred of New York. I shouldn't even ask that question. So check on in. I'll wait for a few people to check in. I was playing a beautiful song by Keith Sweat. You know, it's called Twisted. And yesterday was our New Year's. It's beautiful. I did stay off of social media for a while. A lot has been going on in the back late. Hey, Selma. I talked to Selma yesterday. Um, but I had the convergence happen, family, and it's going to freak you out. The twin flame convert. You know, okay, well, let's wait until everyone checks in. Please put a like on the video as you check on in. They already tried to stop me from making this video because it's going to blow your mind. When I get intel and it's 1000%, when I tell you that, it means it is literally, I won't give you information a lot of times unless I can vet it out, but this is beyond vetted out. So check on in, put a handy dandy like on a video as you step in the room. I guess you can hear me. I love this little microphone. I don't use this a lot. I want to do a ASMR for you. Um, y'all got me started on the ASMR. I thought it was freaky at the first, but it's actually quite fun. All right, so where do I start? Oh my gosh. And why it troubled me to make this video is so much happening. I'm a little stuffy. It isn't the cucarachas. I talked to Selma yesterday, and I'm going to go into the cucarachas because I rebuked it. You know, when I got a little sniffles and I started to feel a little way, I was in the etheric realms. And big up to Bobby Hemmett's information when he talks about when you go into the angelic realms, you tend to get really nasally and sniffly. Also, it is the pollen apocalypse. So if you're waiting for any kind of apocalypse like the TP apocalypse, no, it is literally the pollen apocalypse. We have pollen everywhere here in Florida. So, but there's something more to it. I don't even know how to start, family. I'm happy I'm here with you though. I missed you all. I really did. I missed you. I couldn't come to you because sometimes I just need to take everything in and I have to literally just feel everything out. I can't come to you sometimes because I have to just vet everything out. I have to go through my journey sometimes on my own. And this is one of those that I'm going to share. And I'm going to share it with you raw. This is where I won't really pull any punches. Is that the right term? Pull punches? I won't keep it from you. I would be really a a-hole if I did because it's the real. And sometimes I get in trouble for being too honest. I guess you're just going to have to take it or leave it, okay? All right, family. The event is underway. I experienced already the event within 2 par. And now I will say this to you. I understand why they're keeping us apart, family. I actually know why they're keeping us apart. So we already know that part of this was we're going into the age of Aquarius now. You do know we've discussed this before. The age of Aquarius brings on unity consciousness, and for those who think it's like a yogi term or like a love and light term, let's just say it's bringing us back to 0 point, the point where we weren't separated, where polarities did not exist, where it wasn't in existence. We went into duality in order to field in different forms of information from, from a different point of perspective. So this was something that was needed for us to gain spiritual lessons and to, bring to ascend into higher forms of consciousness and awareness. Now, knowing this, there's there's so much to that. And I've also explained that I've come into the knowing that twin flaming isn't anything that's so like, it's not like that princess and frog kind of, well, it kind of is. It isn't like a princess tale of like, being saved and, going into this merge together. It's something much more than that. I I've come to the realization that twin flaming is basically bringing us into unity consciousness. It's the first step of many merges, okay? And this is the beginning stage of a merge. So you start with your twin, which is your direct and opposite equal end of yourself. Now listen to what I said. This is why it's going to bug you out. The opposite and equal end of yourself. Now, why it probably troubled me to have this conversation with you, my twin came to me and it wasn't who I'm with. Listen to me, family. For me to say this publicly, and listen, my mate, I haven't even had this discussion. My mate doesn't know. I'm not going into this now. My twin came to me, and it wasn't who I'm with. And what's crazy about it is that I know this, you know this, but we totally avoided this. Your twin is your opposite equal end of you. Your opposite equal end of you. It's the opposite of you. Now, what I'm going to bring it down to another point of reference so you don't freak out, okay? I know people are like, "Oh my god, FleurBrun is, falling off, she's saying something crazy." No, it's absolutely 1000%. What are the Skeksis? Remember I always reference the dark crystal? What are the Skeksis to the mystics? The Skeksis are these horrific entities living materialistically in these stoic castle with the crystal that's been fractured, the dark crystal. Now, I always reference the first one, right? The first dark crystal, because that was my favorite, Jim Henson. Big up to all the originalities of the first dark crystal. You've heard me talk about it for years. This is where I say sometimes it's like, when we talk about Christians always accepting parts of the Bible, but they'll nicely skirt over the things that don't resonate with them. But in the totality of the truth, it is a total culmination of the truth. It is in one aspect, but it is another. It is everything. It's a totality of the truth. Okay. Sometimes we accept things from our perspective, like, okay, this is acceptable because it resonates with me, but the other isn't acceptable, even though it's truth, because it's uncomfortable to accept. The Skeksis and the mystics are opposite ends of each other. One is a stoic aspect of the other is egregious, materialistic, living selfishly, utilizing humanity for its own selfish needs. The mystic is selfless, coexisting in nature, being the byproduct of a separation of its original counterpart, which is the opposite equal end. The Skeksis represents to some the dark, or depending, I don't like to use dark because dark is usually referenced to something like negative. It isn't necessarily negative, it's just another form of light. Okay, it's the opposite form of light, of what we perceive as light. And if we perceive light in a righteous way, you have to know that dark and light are actually the opposite. Light is actually devoid of all other colors, and dark is actually absorption of all spectrums of light. If we're going to keep it, you know, um, realistic. Okay, so I know it's gonna bug you out. Listen, family, listen. I wouldn't be FleurBrun if I wasn't totally honest with you. I could not. I had to sit with this for a moment. I cried about it because I know who it is, and it's tragic. When I say it's tragic, it's I knew, I knew who it was. He knew who it was. We knew, and it's disgusting. He's like the opposite. He is the opposite. He is the opposite equal end of FleurBrun. Everything I represent, he represents in an opposite way. It is a negative in a total point of view. No, it's not mine. It's not. Okay, let me pull back. It isn't the Nazi that I was with, but the Nazi was my training camp to prep me to merge with my twin. Okay, the Nazi was my preparation. That's why a lot of light workers have a lot of dark beings that are connected to them, because it literally is preparing you to do the ultimate merge when we're ending the polarities, ending. Hold on, my little ones are here. Hold on. Family, this isn't. If you're really sensitive, for all those twin flames looking for something romantic, this is not for you. I don't want to. I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to bother your peace of mind. This is gonna bug out with you. It's gonna bug you out in every single way. So if it's gonna hurt you, this is my truth. I know what that is. I know what experience, and I won't come to you without authentic. I won't come to you giving you stuff that you want to hear. I will come to you with truth. And this is one of the things that I did. I didn't even want to accept. And first of all, let me say this. I don't even think I'm mature enough to even do this. I won't do this because I think I lack the maturity. I'm being honest. This is why I'm going to keep it real with you. I lack the maturity. At least I think I lack the maturity. I lack the maturity to actually fulfill this. I think I lack it because it requires for me to it requires for me to let go of fear and judgment. It requires for me to fold into something that I perceive to be dark. I'm being honest. I don't think I have the maturity for this one, family. I don't think I do. As much as I've talked about this, as much as I have kind of came to the conclusion that I am having concepts of twinning. And let me go back and say this, okay? It requires you to lose your ego. It requires for you to merge. Okay, so family, okay. I'm going too far and I'm releasing so much because it's very difficult. Okay? Okay, let me get more directed. If you come in the room, please put a like on the video so it stays up because I don't they already prevented me from coming on initially. There's a lot of things going on that have to do with the quote unquote T virus, the cucarachas. Literally, oh, family. Okay, let me stay focused. I'm not going to read your comments too much. It's going to shock you. Let me stay focused. When you watch the twin flames play out in the dark crystal, watch the original dark crystal and then we go into the new dark crystal. Okay? The new dark crystal is the what is it called? The do 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 the evolution. Can someone give me the name? It says it on the thing. Is it the evolution? Can someone tell me the name of the new dark crystal that goes underneath it? Can someone look real quick for me? I wrote it down. I don't have it right now. Let me see if someone has it. Can you Oh, the age of resistance. Is the age of resistance? Okay, the age of resistance, family. Okay, so why all of a sudden during a time when we knew this conjunction was happening, the age of resistance? Thank you, my loves. Okay, so listen to that. I always reference it. Then we had the new one that came out, and I knew it was purposefully giving us codes. Okay, it was giving us codes, and that's where I came up with this conjunction. It happens today, it'll happen all day. I just so happened to, my twin came to me. Absolutely, he's been doing it, but he came to me. Okay, so what's interesting is that it's called the age of resistance. So what does resistance means? It means that things that don't want to come together, things that are having trouble coming together, things that are resisting coming together. There's age of resistance, okay? So what's interesting with this is that when you bring in the new dark crystal, do you notice the first thing that happens right before they merge? Does anyone remember? There was a virus. There was a virus that was coming through the food and the air that was infecting the animals. Remember the caterpillar that was cohesive in the underworld? It was a purple virus because there was a fracture in the crystal. So the fracture in the crystal was called the darkening, right? Was it called the darkening? The darkening was permeating through the land and it was infecting everything. It was, oh my God. Susu. My God. So it was permeating everything. Remember, the animals were eating it and they were all getting the sickness in their eyes and it would cause them to go into like a frenzy. That is the cucarachas. They were telling us what time we were in. It is the cucarachas. It was the purple virus that was going through. Okay? So let's go into this. We know that it happens before the convergence. So the cucarachas is that the cucarachas is that virus, the virus coming through. But the virus is only that way because of the imbalances, the fracturing of the dark crystal. The dark crystal used to be whole, but it was fractured. And that fracture has caused the sickness to permeate through the land. And everyone is catching it. It is going through everyone. People are afraid. And you know what they do in the dark crystal, the second one? They're afraid to touch each other. So they say, remember they dream fast? They always put their hands to each other and dream fast. But they wouldn't do it anymore. Why? Because they were told by the Skeksis not to do it because certain of the other entities were infected, so they didn't want to touch each other. They didn't want to go towards each other anymore. They were into separatism. The land, the Skeksis who were ruling over them, had made a law that they weren't to come together and merge. So many of the Gelflings were afraid to touch each other. They were into separatism. They were into what is it called now? They're calling us to do this. What are they calling us to do? Social spacing. What is it called? Like they're telling us to do social spacing or whatever they say. What is it called? You know that they're telling us to do this. Oh, being socially, what is it called? You guys know what it is. They call it social distancing. Thank you, my love. Thank you more. Social distancing. This is the dark crystal. We're seeing it play out, family. I'm getting excited. Let me calm down. It's social distancing. They're making us not want to dream fast with one another because if we came together at this time during the conjunction, we would know the truth. We would know the truth. They don't want us to come together. And they don't want us in collectives because dream fasting is a form of telepathy. It's because during this conjunction, I'm getting chills. I was crying this morning. I'm a little stuffy. Please, I'm going to try to get this out as much as I can. It is a form of telepathy that allows for us to have almost like a like a like a hive like knowing. So when I come to you and we dream fast, we telepathically already know the truth. So your truth becomes my truth and my truth becomes your truth. So we have an everlasting knowing. They aren't able to stop that. So what they did, these dark hats. Now remember, we have the black hats and we have the white hats. That's duality. We have the polarities playing out. They thought they could stop this, but it wasn't going to work because I told you that we were allowed to twin in the ether. They were allowed to do this in the ether. It's transference. Thank you, my love. Thank you, Sarah's got it. It's transference. Okay? The virus, the T virus is real. but it is only a product of a fracturing that needs to be healed at this time. It's meant to come. It isn't going to hurt us. It is meant to bring about a sort of healing in polarities. Listen, family, I personally think everybody has the T virus. I think you've already come in contact with it. I think everyone has. How it interfaces with you is totally different. Every person will have a certain form of the T virus that will come into them, and it actually will either cause a frenzy or it will end up evolving you higher. It literally will. They told us that the T virus was here just recently. It's been here. It's an infection that's caused, regardless if it's bioengineered or what have you, it's been here. Many of us have already come in contact who had it. That's why a lot of people have died from the flu, because it's all forms. The so-called T virus, the cucarachas, is a form of something that's always been around. The difference is now it's different because there's an energy coming around that is evolving it. That's why they said that's why they're so fearful, because it's morphing. It's changing. It's changing what each person it comes in contact with. It isn't meant to harm you. It actually has a form of upgrade in it. I personally think we've all had contact with it. And like I said, remember, many of us were getting headaches. We were having aches in our bodies for like a year or two now. And many of us had engaged with it already. So why is NBC, ABC, CBS making such a big deal about it if it's been something that's so terrible? We know that anytime they talk about something, we know that there's an agenda based in it. And why would social distancing be such a big deal? They're talking about thousands of people who are infected by it. Why are many of us not seeing these people? Why are we not coming on? Because we are the people that they're talking about. It's already a part of us. It is the event that we're actually undergoing the event right now. This COVID-19, this T virus, this cucarachas is something that comes along with the imbalances, and it's meant to create a form of ending of polarities. So it's an infection based on us being imbalanced and trying to evolve. It's almost like how some people get sickle cell anemia. Sickle cell anemia, we are the cure. Thank you for saying that we are the cure. So when it interacts with those, they don't want it to interact with certain people. This is another part. Oh my God, so much information. They don't want it to interact with certain people because what it does, it's like a dream fast. Once it interacts with those, that 144, it will evolve. And what it does is it literally goes around and it gives that upgrading to everyone. So anytime someone gets it, who's not part of not part of an empty seater. It's not part of an empty seater. It's not part of someone who's not, we're not talking about those who aren't human. We're talking about the natural beings. Mutates. Thank you, patience. My voice is going. Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm trying to give you everything at once. My mind is all over the place. Like I said this morning, I was crying because when I found out who my twin flame was, I can't. Hold on. Okay. Everyone wants to know who the twin flame is. I don't think I should even say it publicly. I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted by it. Okay, so let me take a deep breath because I'm getting hot. It's warm outside. Okay. So, like Bird Box, everything, the infection is literally an upgrade. It isn't what you think it is. That's why they don't want us to be together. They don't want you learning the truth. They don't want you being and socializing together, because if you telepathically connected to each person, you would start to upgrade. The so-called COVID, whatever, is something different than what you think it is. It's literally what I know to be an upgrade. It's some sort of upgrade that they don't want infecting us, because they know once we they know that once we get to a certain point in evolution, because we're going into age of Aquarius, we're going to unity consciousness. How can that happen? Why at a time we're going into unity consciousness are they creating separatism? Why are they pushing for that? Why are they forcing us to separate from each other. Hold on, doggy. Doggy alert. Hold on. And let me say this to everyone in Florida real quick. Big up to everyone in Florida. I know many people are in lockdown. Florida has made it a point to, we have a curfew at 11 to 5, like 11 at night to 5 in the morning. But one thing I will say is I'm grateful for Florida to allow us. There are more people taking walks together. This, whatever's happening right now, has allowed people to be more family oriented. People are walking together. People are taking time. I've seen more people ride their bikes, children walking. We took a long walk last night. Me and my girls took a long walk right before the uh, the curfew. We were like 10 minutes to curfew, and we took a walk like 2 miles out. It was beautiful. So big up to Florida for allowing us to do that. It's necessary. So, okay, family. Oh, gosh. So, the movie Dark Crystal, the second version, is literally telling you what's happening and why I say something is wrong with me and us as a collective. It's the same thing with the Bible thumpers. It's the same thing with people who always accept parts of the truth and never, because things are uncomfortable, it makes them feel totally uncomfortable. It's like accepting one part of the Bible that you feel like you like and then totally dispersing of the other truths that are in the Bible. You know, I say that the Bible because I always criticize people who are Bible thumpers who totally disregard certain aspects. I always do it. And I realize I did it myself. Why? And I had to say I'm such an idiot. I know I'm criticizing myself. I have to do this. I'm such an idiot. Why I'm an idiot is because I said it every time. I said, we're merging. It's a dark crystal. Why wouldn't I think that if a Skeksis and a Mystics is merging, and I knew it was opposite equal ends, it would not be somebody who's you. It would not be somebody who's you. It literally would be the opposite equal end of you. I knew this, but because I accepted most of it and I didn't accept all of it, and I think it was more so subconscious because I think, okay, I know my twin, I'm with my twin. Oh, this is why, this is again, I'll go back to why light workers are dark people are attracted to light workers. It is the merging, it's the polarities. It is a form of the polarities. It is literally, it's denial. It is literally denial. I have to say that. It's not denial purposefully, but it was like a knowing but not willing to it wasn't purposeful. Like I think about it now, it wasn't. So my Nazi was a preparation for my twin flame. It was preparing me for an aspect of adversity that I would have to acclimate to without judgment, without hurting myself, without victimization, without judgment, without ego. It had to prepare me for that. And I always wondered to myself, how could I be with someone for so long? Because there's an aspect of that opposite version of yourself that you do like, that you have an attraction to, that you have a form of, is an aversion to it, but there's a form of allurement by it as well. There's a combination platter. So let me say this. The Skeksis is the opposite end. In the new version of the Dark Crystal, which I did appreciate that they did do. Because again, I'm a big Jim Henson fan. I grew up at the time when they had the Muppets. And I really appreciate it in this version of the Dark Crystal, how they brought the two together. Now, some of you, no, we did notice this because I think we spoke about this. We did notice this. Remember when they brought the two together, the Skeksis? There was one form of them, only one in this show. And then they brought the hunter in. The hunter killed himself. Remember, the hunter, by killing the other aspect of themselves, the mystic one shot the hunter, and then they both died together. But remember, there was one, the Skeksis and the mystic, that ended up living together. Remember, there were like weird kind of idiosyncrasies. We thought it was really funny when they kind of got together. The Skeksi had to be really patient because the mystic is so slow and talking. But there was a merging of the two, and they lived cohesively together. and they didn't let anyone know. And remember, they were found on top of a mountaintop. That is twinning. I don't want to cry because I cried all this morning. You know, it's a sad day when you find out who your twin flame is, and it's the opposite of it's it's what you don't want to accept. Oh, I don't want to cry because I'm gonna get all stuffy. Oh my god! Oh my god! As we're talking, two bees are mating. Oh, that's synchronicity, family. Oh my god, it's synchrony. Hold on, I want to see if I can show you this. Hold on, hold on. I want to show you this. This is synchronistic. Hold on. I don't think I can. No, but then I have my dress. Hold on, family. There's two. Okay, this is how I know I'm telling the truth. I'm not gonna show you because I have my address and stuff out here. I can't, this is not the platform to show. I know my mate was saying don't show too much, but two bees right now are mating at the same time I'm talking about this. This is a sign that is truth. I never see bees mate. It's weird, yeah. It's a little sexual, maybe a little R-rated for everybody. I've never seen two bees mate like that. I've never seen that before. These are bumblebees. Do bumblebees mate like that? I've never seen that before. I didn't think they could do that. That was for me. That was for me. Okay, family. So, yeah, I was crying this morning because I was disgusted. I'll keep it real. I was disgusted at who my twin flame is. They came right on time. The convergence happened for me. It did happen for me. The convergence happened right, you know, and this is where sometimes I don't want to be right, but I'm kind of wrong, right? I'm right, but I didn't accept the other right. This is the opposite equal end. The other person, I, born of two parents who are loving, who loved each other. Parents weren't drug addicts. My opposite equal end didn't have parents. His two parents were drug addicts. I grew up in a household where parents worked together in order to make things righteous for their children. Coming from a foreign family, he came from a foreign family who came here and ended up having adversity and ended up being placed into adoption, well, foster care system. I, who live pretty righteously for the most part, I make a lot of, I could be a little saucy, make mistakes, but I live a righteous, divine perspective. I'm very sisterly oriented, based in matronhood. I would say I'm more of a matronhood. Him, he's the opposite form. He's based in more materialism. He does a lot of the same things I do. He said it to me when he first came to me. He knew who I was to him. I denied who he was to me. I'm disgusted. To be honest, I'm very disgusted. He is a Skeksis. He is literally a Skeksis. He, towards women, he's egregious, but he loves nature in a very non-naturally way. I, on the other hand, am engrossed in nature. I represent that. My name is Brown Flower. He named himself something that has to do with nature. It's disgusting. I'm overwhelmed. He ended up doing everything that I'm going to do. He ended up preempting it and doing it without thinking about it, without taking good conscious decision in it. He ended up going into immersing himself in nature in a way that was really what he intended was, I think, positive at the beginning, but he did it in such an egregiously disgusting way. Like he was my number one enemy. I'm disgusted, family. Many of you know who it is already. I'm disgusted. I literally, I'm disgusted. Everything that I represent, he's the opposite equal end of that. Everything. Everything. And I will say this to you because I'm keeping it real. I have to keep it real. At the beginning, I used to have dreams all the time with him in it. And I would be pissed off. Like, how could you come to my dreams, you disgusting... This is my judgment. And I'm being real right now. I cried. And you can understand, many of you who know who it is, you're throwing up in your mouths. I feel the same way. I cried. He's a Skeksis in every way. Everything that a Skeksis is, he is. I'm disgusted. Anyway, he used to come in my dreams a lot with his people. He used to come a lot in my dreams. And I would be really pissed off. I think I told you many times about this. I'd be really pissed off because I was like, how dare you? You're not even, this is how judgmental I was because I'm disgusted by his egregious behavior. I was like, how dare you? How could you even come to me? You're not even high enough. But your twin is the opposite equal end of you. One's dark, one's light. It could be different forms of it. It depends on how closely you are together. Oh God. So I remember one time when he came to me, he said some things, and I'm not going to say it publicly because there's certain things that are not meant to be discussed. I'm not a millennial. Let me say this. I'm not a millennial. I don't believe in screenshotting conversations and blowing them up. I'm not a millennial in that private conversations I will make public to disrespect people and to so on. But we had a conversation at the very beginning before many of you even know who he was. And I remember the conversation that had to do with this. And I said, I can't be down with what you do because of what you do. It wasn't that his intent wasn't positive. It was just distorted. It was the opposite of what I would do. It was so much more like based in maybe ego or pain, maybe ego and pain, being traumatized as a child, everything the opposite of that I've been reared in. You know, again, I had loving parents and so on. It's the opposite end of me. But there was a moment where I recognized something and I shut it away because I said, this is disgusting and I don't agree with you. But he kept coming in the dream space. And I asked myself, I was like, how is he able to do that? Now I know why. He's my twin flame. He represents me on social media in the opposite way that I show up. He is literally a Skeksis. I am the mystic. And the merging is happening. And I'm sorry, family. I don't think I'm mature enough to really. Oh, what's my passcode? Oh, my passcode is Naj. Naj. It is FleurBrun. It is and not me. My passcode is Naj. It is Naj. So all this to say is let me take a drink of water. My garage is opening. Hold on. My little ones are coming. Let me get in my righteous state. Hey, honey bunny. You want the iPad?
What's my height?
You're maybe 5'3", 5'4".
Okay.
Why?
I was just asking.
What are you asking for? Do you want your iPad? Want your iPad? Yeah? You gonna come out and do some roller skating later?
Maybe.
Okay. My pleasure. Did you have some baby? Baby, come. Come. Did you have some did you take the oregano?
Yes.
And you took 2 of the other stuff? Okay. Yes, I'm sad. Yes, I'm very sad. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. You would have to be such a mature soul. You would have to be such a mature person to merge. It's like, it's duality playing out. It's why they have all these agendas. It's why the agenda, now I understand now, all the agendas. It's, I understand now. Now I understand. I've undergone this. I did undergo the convergence. It did happen. I know for a fact. I'm 1000% family. I'm not confused. I know for a fact it is him. It is him. And I've known it longer than I've not. So I will say this. Um, some of you are disgusted for me. Some of you are disgusted for me. I know. I know you feel sorry for I don't want you to feel sorry, and I don't want you to get angry, and I don't want you to be disappointed. I just want you to hear my truth. That's all. I just want you to hear my truth. This is one of the things I wouldn't want to tell you, but I keep it real. Um, all the agendas, them wanting brown people and lunar people to merge, it's the end of duality. It's the end of the polarities. That's why one version will push for people to merge together of different light and dark, and then the other version will propel people to stay with same. So the so-called gay agenda is keeping people away from breaking the polarities. So the agenda. I'm not talking about gay people. Let's make sure anyone on here who represents someone who's gay, listen to what I said so you aren't offended. The gay agenda is to keep polarities where they're supposed to be. It's merging you with the same so that you don't end the spell, end the curse. The curse is our duality. This is a curse. Us being separatists, us always being opposite of each other, light and dark, fat and skinny. It's we're supposed to go into unity consciousness. So what is happening on one end, you'll see them overtly saying, okay, brown people and lunar people get together, keep doing that. But on the other end, you'll see them say, no, stay the same, stay with your same sex, stay within your same. So it's a constant it's the black hats and the white hats propagating all these forms of push and pull that is confusing the general general people, the populace. It's just confusing us. But we're supposed to end the polarities. Dark and light are supposed to merge. Twin flaming is all that merging into unity consciousness. It's one aspect of that. But the twin isn't the same as you. It's the opposite equal end of you. It's the opposite equal end of you. That's all it is. And if we are out of ego, if we know this, if we're supposed to accept this, we know that light and dark have to merge. The dark crystal was fractured because of the imbalances that caused a form of fracturing, not only in the crystal, but it caused a fracturing of humanity, caused a fracturing of how even the elements, the animals showed up. We have sick cows right now. We have sick pigs. We have sick fish. Things are dying. The imbalance, all when you watch the dark crystal, the second one, all of the sickness that everyone was getting infected by, the separatism that they're trying to propel to us, it's all created to disallow from the merging. The literal dark crystal was telling us we're supposed to merge. It is literally the conjunction that is occurring right now as we speak, regardless if you want it to happen or not. It is the convergence of dark and light. It is the end of polarities. It is the end of duality. In order to do that, you said you blame the French. It is literally to the mother tree died. Yeah, she dried out. So family, I'm oh god, his people are probably here. Um, I've experienced part of the event again. The thing that I talked about, and I just made a theory. I didn't even know how it would show up. To be honest, I'm disgusted with myself because it's like, why I say I'm an idiot is because I knew that it was the opposite. The Skeksis is disgusting, and the Mystics is a totally different opposite end of that. And why wouldn't I accept that within my own dynamics of what twin flaming would be? I know many of you will pray for me. Oh shoot. Many of you will pray for me. Okay, so The end of polarities. The end of the end of duality. It doesn't look so pretty. Now, the being that they turn into during the Dark Crystal, if you watch the Dark Crystal and you see when they merge, remember, it was the Skeksis who fought it. It was the mystics who walked towards them, and with the ever knowing of the inevitability of the merge, of what was to happen. It, I'm humbled. I'm humbled because it's a true. You know when you know, you know what? It's crazy when you come to a revelation of something that is something that you're totally against, that you've that you've that you've lobbied against. Your twin flame is the opposite equal end of you. Everything that I represent, he's the opposite of, but it is the same energy. It's the same zest. It's the same. It's the same. It's just the opposite. One was sick. One didn't have the cultivation of growing up in a household. We even have the same culture. We have a similar cultural background. Same. It's crazy. It's crazy. So, family, um, please put a like on the video. I don't even know if I'll keep this up. I'm just sometimes truth is just it's just I don't know. I'm not confused. This is the one time I'm very it's something that I didn't want at all. And I'm not mature enough to fulfill it. I don't think so. I'm not mature. I I don't know. For me to stutter, I would have to fulfill the prophecy, to fulfill the merging, I would have to I have a lot of anger towards him. Not hatred, just disgust. I think he's diabolical. So, as I'm on here, I'm just thinking with you guys on here. I hope you don't mind. Um, I'm svelting out here if you don't mind. Hopefully the phone won't overheat. It's okay. Okay, the phone is fine. So if the phone overheats, I'll go inside. I like to be out. I like to sit in my car. This is my one spot. I love my car. Most people, I like to sit in my truck. This is like what I used to do in Mount Vernon. Many of you who knew me from back in the days, this is my best place to think. Like, I love sitting in my truck. Like, when I was young, I had a Mazda. My daddy bought me a Mazda 626. And many of you remember this because we used to, like, stop at stoplights and jump out as girls and, like, dance to music and then jump back in. It was real corny. But I had always sat in my car. This is like my one think tank. It does. I'm having a hard time. I am. Because I know it's true. I know it 1000%. I wouldn't say it if I wouldn't even make this. I wouldn't even make this revolution because it happened right during the conjunction. The New Year's happened. Big up to the spring equinox. Spring equinox came in. We celebrated our New Year's and he came right in. He came right in. This bastard came in. He did. I was like, oh my gosh, no, not you. I was pissed off. I told, I told one person before I came on here, and they threw up in their mouth. Oh, shoot. They threw up in their mouth. He knew. He knew. But I was disgusting towards him. He probably, he always knew. He knew at the beginning. And I was disgusted because he was so overly disgusting at the beginning. Because he said he waited for me. He waited for me. He went to a place that I was supposed to go to and I didn't go because he was there. I don't tell anything. I don't tell everything, but some of you know. He went somewhere where I was going to wait for me. He waited for me. I was never going to come. If you know FleurBrun, I'm just that kind of, if you doing diabolic, if you doing some things that I am not in sync with, I won't rock with you. He was over there waiting. He said, I could see it in his telecast. I could see who he was speaking to. It was me. It was me. You're driving in your Mazda right now, thinking about it right now. Y'all already know who it is. Many of you already know. I won't. It's like saying Satan's name. I don't even say Satan's name on live because this would be like the reverberation through social media. This is like social media. It's a social media nightmare. I'm not even from social media in this way. Many of you millennials live this life. I'm not about this life in that way. I can, this saying his name is like, when you say when people are doing exorcists and you want to know the demon's name. So if you say the demon's name, you can excommunicate them. So you always find out the demon's name to exorcise them completely. If I said his name, I would have to fulfill the prophecy, and I'm unwilling to do it. I won't do it. I won't. I know who it is. This is the one time, y'all, I will say to you, I'm not about that life. I'm really not about that life. I'm really not that strong. I'm not that strong. I'm not that smart. I'm not that powerful. I'm not there yet. I'm not mature enough. I may seem mature in Avatar, but I'm really not. I'm really not. Y'all are saying the names. I thought I was strong. I thought I was strong until the truth came out. See, you're only as smart as your truth. You're only as smart as the next challenge. Listen, this is like the Survivor Challenge 2020. The twin flame revolution. I've been talking about it for months. Oh, it's coming. Oh, it's amazing. I'm with my twin. Oh, I know I'm with my twin. Oh, family. My mate has no clue. I can't even I can't even talk to him about it. I can't. Not now. I told him we'd had a conversation, but I literally naked and afraid twinning. And I love my mate. I love my mate. So it's not a matter of that. Hancock, right? I gotta rewatch Hancock because a lot of you reference Hancock. Because Hancock probably has a lot. I don't know. If everyone likes the video, I won't delete it. I'll let you guys just have fun. There's going to be mad social media. There's going to be projections on this for days because this is like when people have tea because of how many of you may know who it is. There's going to be like there's a social repercussion for this. There's social repercussion for this. That's why I don't really care because I made this video because I keep it real with you. And I know that me telling this to you also is also helpful for those who are twinning because I know some of you or many of you already had the twin convergence. I had it right on time. Call it it's not chance. I had the twin convergence. It happened to me. It's him and I'm disgusted. God fumes. Oh, hi, thank you. Someone in the building next to you has the corona. How are they doing, my love? They got the cucarachis? They'll be fine. The cucarachis is an upgrading system. It is the dark crystal. It's that dark crystal virus. Once the twins, it's also repercussions. Oh gosh, it's so much happening, family. The cucarachis, the T virus is also a byproduct of the sickening, the darkening. Remember the darkening and the dark crystal? It's that. So when twins come together, they heal the darkening. That's another thing. when the twins come together, when the convergence happens, it heals the darkening. The fixing the dark crystal, taking away from the fracture, going into unity consciousness also heals that. So in and itself, the T virus is that going into each person, upgrading them, just trying to remedy the imbalances. That's all it is. Regardless if it's genetically homogenized, regardless of where it came from, it's part of this. It's part of the fracturing. Polarities can the merging and the going into unity consciousness won't be stopped. It won't be stopped. It will happen. So there will be multitude of false flags of them attempting to stop us, but it will happen. It will literally happen. And yeah, with the acknowledgement of who my twin, but it doesn't have to be what I think. I don't know what it is. I don't know what I'm supposed to. No, I know what I'm supposed to do, but maybe it isn't what. Maybe it isn't necessarily. I don't know. Wow. When you wake up and you realize that you may say, "Oh, you've won the crown. You are Miss FleurBrun. Da da da. You're Miss whatever, Miss whatever." And you wake up in the morning and realize that your crown isn't what it was. Oh, he's running real twin flame. And twin flames, let me say this for anyone here. Libra, thank you, Libra. Oh, thank you. Um, is it buffering? The twin flame phenomenon is real. It wasn't what we thought it was. It is a merging of dark and light to heal the aspect of the imbalances. It's for the end of polarities. How could this happen? Of anyone else, why would it be that person? Like, you think of all the things to yourself. Why why him of all people? He's like my nemesis. And people used to say it to me too. You remember at the beginning? So those who know it is, I'm not going to say his name, but some of you know. Remember at the beginning when y'all were like, why do you keep talking about him? Why do you keep saying things about him? Is it like some sort of subconscious thing? Maybe there was an inner knowing, like a disgust because there was something inner wise. There was something inside of me that knew that was pissed off. So maybe it was just a matter of just knowing inside. And when they say that you treat that the person, remember when you're a child and you're little and they say that you always, boys used to hit the girls that they liked the most. Remember that theory? I don't know. Maybe I'm from old school. Remember they said that, I know when I was little, they used to say that. Trick or treat. Remember they used to say that the boys used to hit you all the time because they liked you? It's kind of like this, Beauty and the Beast. I'm disgusted. He's probably watching this video now laughing. It's a big joke. Wow. I don't even. Oh, uh-oh. His people are on here. Don't bring around your kids. He won't be anywhere around anyone's children that I know. Oh no, he's on here. Oh God. Wow. Family, I'm afraid for me. Can you guys pray for me? Really? Can you pray for me, please? Please. I'm just I need I need the support. I rarely ask for this, but I need all of the meditation. I need meditation. I need, I need I need sutras. Please, because this is crazy. Yes, baby, you can have that. I'm just, I'm sweating. I'm hot. You know what I feel like doing, family? I feel like going to Brazil right now. Don't be surprised if I book a flight. I may have to get out of here. I do. And he's already met me halfway. You know that, right? He made half the journey. This is how I know it's all true. Please pray for me. He's made the journey. It wasn't of his own doing either. The universe is already conspiring as well. The universe is in conspiring as well, family. You know this, right? The universe made that happen. They made sure he come halfway to me. This is like insane. I can't believe it. I know. I have to purge him. April said purge him. I haven't done anything. Family, I haven't done anything. I haven't said anything. I haven't done anything. So just know that. FleurBrun is very, very conscious and I'm very, very aware. I just there has to be a way to resolve a merging without merging. So I'm not strong enough and I'm not there yet. When I get more mature and maybe I can have this conversation maybe days from now when I actually allow myself to resonate and understand and overstand what this is and what this means. Because I know that twin flames coming together heals the planet, but I really didn't. It's almost like you're so, oh no. Wow. I know who my twin is. It isn't who I'm with at all. It isn't him. The twin came to me right during the convergence. This is a twin flame convergence today. It's here. It's already happened. And just like I told you guys that well, I wasn't feeling well, so I stopped fasting. Remember, I jumped fasting, but I started fasting again because I wasn't feeling too hot. So I kind of haven't had a chance to really have anything based on that. So I'm kind of unconsciously water fasting just because I can't do anything else. So when dark and light meet, disgusted. I'm so angry. You don't know, family. I think many of you already know. I'm very angry. I'm disappointed. I'm angry. I'm angry at myself, disappointed at myself. You know, when you say things publicly, sometimes why didn't I see this? It's almost like a journey that you've done publicly and you wish you didn't. Like, it's like, oh, it's so cool. Yeah. Twin flaming. Oh, yeah. Oh, family. It's madness. And it isn't an attack, family. No, I haven't been taken over by archons or I've not been demonically possessed. I'm here. I'm still, well, I love my babies. I'm home with my babies all the time. It's still FleurBrun. There isn't anything wrong with me. I'm drinking water. I'm not infiltrated. I haven't had caffeine. I'm not eating crazy. I'm not having diabolical sex. It's FleurBrun. It's me. Okay? It's me. So there isn't any cloning. It's totally me. It is. It's an awareness that I'm having a hard time digesting. And it's frightening. It's very frightening. because it's I I I did subconsciously know, and that's why I went so hard against it. I went very hard against it. And he knew initially. He knew more than I did. So family, all this to say, let me go back into it before I go into I'm going into deep thought because I'm in shock. So, oh, what's the password? Oh, my password is Naj. Naj. It's me. I know everyone's trying to verify if this is FleurBrun or not. It's Naj. That's the password. It's me. What a time. It's a beautiful time on the planet, but it's so many revelations, and not every truth is something that we can always accept. And this is the one where I've been humbled. I've been literally humbled. I'm humbled because and if you look at it, family, when you get a chance, everyone who leaves this feed, I will say this to you: let me be, if I have to be the 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 poster child or the prototype of what needs to be known. Maybe I should, I'm okay to be. Many of you already knew, but what you'll see is when you look at, if you know who I'm talking about, for those who do know, look at the opposite equal end. What FleurBrun represents. Oh, thank you, Carlin. Carlin, thank you, my love. 999. Carlin just made a donation of 999. Thank you. When you guys get a chance to look, you'll notice the two differences. So you'll notice that he represents what I represent in the opposite end. He did everything that I'm doing now. He did everything at the beginning of what I'm doing now. With the sanctuary of going into South America, he did it already. He did it initially, but I'm doing it later. It's the opposite equal end of the two. It's one who represents nature in another way, and one who represents nature in a matriarchal way. I represent the matriarchy, the mother who's here for the healing of the planet, who's here for the healing of the children and the animals, and I do it righteously. I do that unselfishly. I make sure I think about everything. My moves are much more they're slower because I do everything with more integrity. I have to, because I have little ones who have to be a good example. I want to be a great example for all of your little ones, including mine. So because of that, and it pissed me off because I didn't like the fact that that person did the things that I was supposed to do, but they just did it. With me, I take thought and I do it. I'm doing it, much more integrity ridden, not on impulse. He's much more impulsive. I think about everything. He's the opposite equal end of me. You will see that. You will actually, many of you could verify that this person is my twin flame. You'll verify it. You'll do it. You can see when he came to me, I knew that it was true based on the timing. Timing is everything. Time doesn't exist, but it exists. No, I don't have the cucarachas. Everybody has the cucarachas. It's pollen apocalypse here in Florida, just to let you know. You said kiss and make up. I'm not kissing him. And I don't want to throw any shade because it's now, because that is my twin flame. I have to be careful. I have to be careful because I'm going to sit down and I'm going to watch the series again of the Dark Crystal, and I want to watch it again. I've watched it 50 million times, but I want to watch it again. And it's basically like a prototype of what's to occur. I have to see what this is. And I know that many of you, now there are people on here, because if this has happened to me, I'm not alone. This I know. I know for a fact, because a lot of times when you and when I do something, it's a reflective of the collective. Oh, it's a reflective of the collective. I've made a rhyme. It is a reflection of the collection. So I will say to you, A lot of times when I go through something, I know many of you are going through it. It's just I sit on a public platform, so I'm much more overt and I talk about it more overtly. So maybe if some of you can share, because I know I went through the convergence. I already had the twin flame merging. So it's the beginning stages of it. I want to know who this has happened to. Has anyone on this feed? Now, you don't have to say it here because I don't want to make you a public. Many of you have already had this. Someone come to you during this convergence. That means that you dreamt about them. Remember, they were in the ether. I said it was going to happen. Did anyone who's the opposite of you that you totally have aversion to, did they come to you during this time? Because it is the opposite equal end of you. Am I sweating? I'm sorry. Anyone? You don't have. Okay. No. Okay. Some. Your ex. Okay. It's happening. I know it happened. I know if it happened to me, it happened to you. I know it did. Yes. Oh my God. Melanie High Priest. Yes. It's happening. It happened. I know it did. I know it did. Okay. It happened to a lot of you. Now, we shouldn't jump into this. Now, let me state this. This will be a whole series. I might have to make a whole channel on this because this is very, oh my God. I'm not confused. I'm just in shock. He knows I'm his twin. For anyone who asked that question telepathically, I heard you. He knows I'm his twin. He knows it for certain. He knew it at the beginning. Every woman that he chose is a version of me. Every woman he chose is a version of me. From culture, from disposition, from behavior, from looks. Every woman he chose was me. So, family, I know. I don't know if I want to keep this up. This is like, oh my God. I gotta go for a walk. I'm gonna go for a nature walk. It's like a pun in that. I'm gonna go for a walk, family. Your twin will be someone you dislike. It depends on what you consider to be dislike. It is the opposite equal end of you. There are things subconsciously, let me say this again, family. There are things subconsciously that we don't talk about or we don't reveal to others. Let's say that, okay? We have to keep it real in that way. You know, me as a little bit more seasoned than most, there are things that we don't share with others because there are aspects of ourselves that we would definitely feel others would judge. Now, this will be judged. I could care less because if I'm on a twin flame journey, I have to keep it authentic. And it did happen. So I don't want to sit here and fake it like it didn't happen. It did happen to me. It happened right on time, and I know who it is 1000%. He is my twin flame 1000%. What I thought was my twin flame, the mate that I have now, he's amazing, he's beautiful, but he isn't the opposite equal end of me. He has opposition to me, but it's a preempt. It's a preempt. He is the opposite equal end of me. In intellect, he represents the intellectual side of me, much more stoic, not stoic. I shouldn't say stoic. Stoic is not, that isn't a correct word. He represents a non-cultivated version of FleurBrun. I've been cultivated by love and patience and doting with my parents and my friends. He hasn't had that. So it's the opposite end of that. Okay, it's totally different. If you had to say it, he'd be left, I'd be right. Okay, in every way. There has to be a bridge. Thank you for healing. There has to be something. Not sexually, because that isn't going to happen. That isn't going to happen. I that isn't appropriate. But I think the merging needs to be quantified as what does that mean? Because if polarities are ending, there has to be a merge. How does that merge? How do we do that without judgment? We still have an ego. I have to figure that out. I don't know. I don't know if I can cultivate that. I don't know. I'm still in shock. I cried this morning. I cried for a while because I knew it was true. And like I said before, for those who say, can you be with someone that you hate or dislike? There are things on the internal that aren't ever said, that we have inside of ourselves that we would never share. It's like someone who, I'll be really gross for a moment. It's like Jody Grody's, like people who pick their nose at home. You would never say that in social media, right? You would, some people would, but most people won't say it. Like if they pick their nose, like, oh, you pick your nose at home. You would never say that, right? Or if you do something gross, like that is not socially acceptable, you wouldn't say it on social media. Okay? So that being said, there are things, there are aspects of all of us that we wouldn't necessarily bring that out into the forefront because these are aspects of ourselves that we would feel judged or we won't even accept saying or speaking about outwardly. That's just a fact. Everybody has those. You're truthful to a certain degree. Okay? There's certain aspects of FleurBrun that don't come out all on social media. It's inappropriate. There's certain things I do on social media. There's certain things I do privately that don't come out on social media because it's not appropriate. Okay? But the convergence has happened. It did happen on time. I will say this. So big up to anyone. Whoever had the convergence, you would have had it from yesterday to today. So for the New Year's, big up to anyone for the welcome to the spring solstice. Spring solstice was yesterday as well as the New Year. So blissful New Year's to everyone. This twin flame convergence did occur. It happened right on time. It did happen. And yesterday I went for a 2 mile walk. Like I went for a 2 mile walk. It was amazing. Right before our curfew last night. So a 2 mile walk and went fast to sleep right afterwards because I was really tired. And when we had the convergence, even during the convergence, I was rejecting it. And I do it every time. But if you had your twin flame convergence, it did happen. It did happen. It will happen today. So you have the rest of the day or tonight. It will happen. It already happened to me. It happened right on time. The convergence did allow for them to come to you. And I would suggest if you feel any which way, and like I said, if this totally bothers you, I understand. I was disturbed myself. Like I said, I cried. I know if it disturbs me, it definitely disturbs you. I understand. I totally understand. The convergence is the merging of the dualities, the polarities. So in order for the planet to go through the shift, we have to merge with our twin flames. It is part of the process of going into unity consciousness. It's part of the returning into 0 point. It's fielding in the imbalances that were created with the splintering of the dark crystal, which is basically Mother Terra, Tiamat, Aquaterra. That's her new name, Aquaterra. So it's basically fielding in those imbalances. So polarity has to merge. The two polarities or the multitude of polarities have to merge. That's why you have all of these agendas. Like I said, the anti to the merging of the polarities is the gay agenda. So excuse me. Oh, I have a confirmation, Lachey. Thank you, Lachey. I saw that on this. I like that it comes on my phone. Thank you, Lachey. Another confirmation that it's happened. So during this time with the polarities merging, they've given us agendas to confuse us. That's called a pollen apocalypse cough. I've been coughing for days. We have a multitude of pollen here. I've been outside. Here in Florida, this is our time when we have tons of pollen. So yeah, I'm without the cucaracha. Well, I think everybody has the cucarachas, to be honest. I wasn't feeling well, but it's a lot of pollen. So everyone here, you would think everybody has the cucarachas because everyone is coughing or has sinus headaches. We get this, and I'm outside all the time because, during this time when there aren't any stores open or anything like that, a lot of us spend a lot of time in nature, so I'm always in nature. I'm outside a lot. So, it is allergy season. And, it's figures they would have the cucarachis apocalypse during the time when we're having a twin flame convergence and also a pollen convergence. So in and itself, during this time, the convergence has happened. 1000%. I know who my twin flame is 1000%. I am mated with someone else who isn't my twin flame. Clone, clone, clone. I made a video of you melting the other day. Oh, you think I'm a clone? Bam. Let me get you rid of you. If you think I'm a clone, really? A clone wouldn't be so chunky. I'm a Thickums clone. Hopefully a clone would come in a thinner, more a more svelte version of myself. No, it's me. I'm not saying there isn't versions of me. There may be other versions of me, but it isn't me. I know this is going to cause, listen, this will cause ripples throughout social media because many of you know who it is. Okay. So it is what it is. I've accepted it. I know it's true. There isn't any, confusion. It's just shock. Um, we will see how this plays out. Okay. We will see how this plays out. It's not just me. Many of you had it happen. Some of you will be embarrassed how it happened. And you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. We all have free will. That's what I'm saying. You shouldn't be afraid for me because I will only engage in things that are helpful and healthy for me. Okay? So, how do I know? Oh, now I know. Before I thought I knew, but now I know because remember, I waited. We all waited for the convergence, and the diabolical Willy Wonka made sure that they stopped everyone from coming together. They were going to stop the twin flame convergence. Remember, I told you that's why a lot of this happened. They couldn't stop it, could they? They tried to separate us. They put everybody in quarantine. But remember, we all, your twin flame can't. They can come to you in your dreams, in your dreamscape, in the ethers, in the etheric realms. It's so silly. This how confused they are. We can come with them in the ethers. You always meet your twin flame in the ethers. You've met them in the ethers. You've cohabitated with them in the ethers. So the whole object of them trying and attempting to stop us from merging, see, because they're so limited in the way that they see things, they thought, oh, well, physically, we'll stop them from meeting up with their twin flames. They thought they stopped it. Actually, they made it much more actually much more authentic because now physical representations you can always say this is because remember I thought I had a physical representation, but the ethers don't lie. The ethers won't ever lie. Remember, above there isn't a lie. It's usually here in the playground of illusion and everything. This is where lies and smoke and mirrors can happen here, but up in the ethers everything's 1000%. Okay. My twin flame is who it is. I accept that that's my twin flame. I won't make. I've already accepted that that's the case. I'm 1000%. It is what it is. It isn't making me happy because I know what that. You coughing right now? I'm sorry. Um, I know what this means, and I guess you guys are gonna see this play out. It's probably gonna be the most wild thing that anyone would ever know or witness. And a butterfly just, oh my God, a butterfly just flew by. If we're to play out duality, if we're supposed to heal the polarities, I guess this is how it shows up. I don't think I have the maturity, though, family. I don't think I'm smart enough. Like I said, I don't think I'm smart enough. I'm not even sure if I have the bravery. I would have to be brave. I would have to be brave. I say I'm brave. I'm brave in some aspects. I'm not. I'm not brave all the time, though. Certain things scare me. This is scary. It's a little scary. Because when you know something, when you know something, you do something about it, right? Like when you know better, you do better, right? I know something now. Any denial, I projected it for a whole year, saying that this would be the time. I brought about this convergence. I said, okay, when the moon is in the seventh house when the moon is in the seventh house and Jupiter is aligned with Mars, and then during this time when we had the rainbow event happen, when I had it happen 2 years ago, it happened around this time. And then we had the New Year's happen with the spring equinox, and then we knew this event would happen on the 22nd. So it's all aligned. It's all aligned. It's in the stars. The stars don't lie. Everything else, who you've met with, who you thought, oh, thank you for my 144. Thank you, Roderick. I appreciate it. So, family, I guess I'm sorry if I'm disappointing anybody. Yeah, I'm sorry for that. Right, Squirrely? What do you have in your mouth? What do you have in your mouth? The baby squirrels are, my baby squirrels are all getting big. Come here, honey. Usually I give them bananas. I love my squirrel. Oh, thank you for my donation, my love. Thank you, Amy. Thank you. I love my squirrelies. They make me happy. Okay, family. So I don't know what else to say. I'm in shock. I'm still in shock. I don't know. I'm here. I'm FleurBrun. I haven't changed. Um, Nothing's happened, so you don't worry about me. Um, I wish I was brave. Like, if I was brave, be honest, if I was brave, a younger FleurBrun might be a little different. If I was brave, I'd just go knock on his door and be like, "Yo, what's good? You gonna have to raise up your frequency, son." If I was brave like that, I'm a little different now. And what does this mean? I know you all do it. Susan, only Susan would tell me to do it. Susan's like, go for it. Nah, I don't know. Um, I'll see. I'll take the time. We have a lot of time to ourselves, so I'll take the time. He's come halfway. He's literally in close proximity of me. So it would have to be in private. I would have to talk to him. Um, if this is my twin flame, the convergence doesn't necessarily mean I have to have sex with them, family. A lot of you are fearful of that because but it doesn't mean that. It just means that maybe to field in the energies of dark and light, maybe to sit in the energies of dark and light and make a truce, Maybe it's a truce. Maybe it's to sit in the because he's very angry at me. He was very angry at me for being so venomous towards him. I was the reason why everything kicked off. He blames me for that. Many of you know that. He blames me for everything that kicked off because it was me coming for him and I didn't like certain things he did and I came from at the beginning. So maybe it's a truce. Maybe it's to sit and say your piece to each other and I'll do that. If you guys want me to do it, he does everything publicly. I don't think you guys care. He does everything publicly, so he would do it. He doesn't care to do. But I would talk to him privately first, and maybe just to show duality. Maybe us being the change we want to see in the world. Maybe putting white flags up or showing truce. Maybe in many ways that's healing to humanity. Maybe that's what we're supposed to do. Maybe we're supposed to make a truce and sit down and speak to each other, human to human. Well, yeah. Reptilian to reptilian. Reptilian to reptilian. Take our get our serpent selves out and really speak to each other and maybe perhaps make a truce. Maybe that's the first part of the merge. Energy to energy. We never sat in front of each other. That's the crazy part. Most people thought we did. We have never been in front of each other. But maybe it's time that we did. And maybe that's the first part of the merge is to discuss a truce. Rather than making it into something that it isn't, maybe I should make it into something that I want I'm okay with. So maybe I'll do that. I'm sure he'll be receptive to it. He's much more overt and he's chaotically online. He doesn't care. But maybe that'll be the first step. And I think maybe that'll be a way to maybe I can heal aspects of what has been lost in his life, and maybe he can share the traumas and things that have made the choices that he's made. Instead of judging him harshly, maybe I can see from a different angle. Yeah, we have hawks. The hawks are out there. We have hawks that are actually, the hawks actually, the birds are, remember the baby birds, all the baby birds are, there's a lot of mating going on. This is our spring. Our spring is beautiful here. You see here, like the bees were mating. I've never seen that before. It's the first time I saw the bees merging. Um, Someone said, don't go. I'm not going there. No. Anything that I do would have to be on my terms. Okay? The birds are happy. You hear them singing? I personally, actually, I don't know his blood type. I think he's got to be O positive or O negative. I can find that out. Like I said, this is a revelation that I think is horrible for most. The death of the ego. Oh, it's worse than the death of the ego. This is something so crazy. All right, family. So I don't want to stay on here. You guys are going to stare at me in shock. Because this is not even the greatest. I hope this was helpful. I know it's hard. I hate to make videos and it's like I'm kind of in shock, and I had to keep it real. And remember, when I keep it real like this, it's basically saying, this is what it is. I want to be in truth, and rather than lie to you and say, "Oh, my twin flame is who I'm with." I was wrong. It wasn't who I'm with. It's the one person I didn't want to be with. You went for a walk. I hope everybody's okay. So Richie, does he feel the same? I'm sure. Does he feel the same? Yeah. He's known. He's known more than I have. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Torin. Thank you, Bernita. I appreciate it. Thank you, my loves. I don't know. No, he came in the ether. He's done that before, but I've already, I did the first step of the acknowledgement by a dream catcher. By a I have dream catchers everywhere. No, he was correct. He knew it a long time ago. Anybody who knows who it is knows this already. So I guess family, you're gonna watch the journey, and maybe like I said, I will. I'm okay to be a prototype for the twinning, but I have to get over the shock, and I have to make this into what I'm okay with. Like I said, I haven't discussed this with my mate. It's not a conversation with the mate about this because this is something that I'm left. It didn't. Like I said, family. This was something that was already. It's not something that was known, but it wasn't acknowledged. Okay, it was. I will say that. I don't want to. I want to keep it authentic in that way. It was known. There was a, like I said, things were already known. The opposite equal end. That's who your twin flame is. It isn't what you think it is. It isn't like it would be somebody who has 50. They have things in common with you only because they engage in it more in the opposite way than you. So they will be you, but the opposite end of you. So if you represent, I don't know, if you represent like a sports team, like you are into sports, they'll be into sports, but it will be the opposite way that you're into sports. If you're a coach, they'll be a player. If you're a dancer, they'll be the musician. It's not the musician, but they'll be like a dancer or a choreographer of dancing. It'll be the opposite end of you, but they'll still be in the same genre. That I'm correct about. They're in your same genre, but they're the opposite of you. So they show up opposite of you. That's all it is. Light and dark. So the Skeksis, and when we go into this family, go back into the dark crystal, the Skeksis and the mystics. If we take that and you take a position, which one are you? Are you the Skeksis or are you the mystic? If you're the mystic, what do you think your twin flame is going to be? That's how it's easy I could put it. If you are the Skeksi, what do you think your twin flame is going to be? It's the opposite equal end of you. It's still you. It's just the opposite end of you. If you take that being who is my twin flame and you gave him the same life as I had, I would be similar to him. I would be based in ego. I would probably be very impulsive. If I didn't have parents who loved me, who didn't cultivate me, I would be him. I'd be honest. Our experiences have to do with how we're cultivated a lot of times too. So take FleurBrun out of my situation. You saw my beautiful parents. They loved me. They cultivated me. They protected me. Take me out of that scenario and put me in a position where I was thrown into a scenario where none of my parents were there. I was put into foster care. I was violated. And then I had to learn to grow from that. But I always had aspects of nature in me. I always wanted to be a part of nature. That was something that was inside of me intrinsically. I would be that person in a different way, but I would probably show up in that way. So that's all this to say is that his camping, his all into that, even though he grew up in the most horrific situations, he always was engrossed in nature, obsessed with nature. He always was. But he wasn't cultivated with that love frequency I was. So yes, he is the opposite equal end of me in every way. But we must take the judgment out because if I'm thrown in that same scenario, I don't know that I would look so shiny and pretty to you. I don't know that I would look so righteous and cohesive to you. But a lot of the things that you may resonate with in my heart space might have been my always being in nature. There's one thing about me that has always been consistent, and it's why I call myself a brown flower. It's because I love nature. I'm always out here. I listen to the birds. I talk to the squirrels. I save all the insects. I obsess with recycling. That's part of who I've always been. That's like my core. That's me. And I would have been that even in a situation where I wasn't cultivated, but it would have shown up more insidious. It might have showed up, I might have been really loose. I might have been sexually compromised. Maybe I would have been sexually explicit with things. I would have showed up in all these different ways because I didn't have that initial protection. It's disgusting. It's not bad or good. It's just, it is. It is what it is. So family, this is my truth. I guess I'll leave the video up. As long as the video stays up, it is what it is. It's going to be very interesting. Like now I have a revelation. There isn't any more conjecture. Um, FleurBrun, you're usually on point. You may not agree with it. Yeah, I agree. This is madness. No, I agree. There's many people be like, I don't know about this. It isn't something. But one thing I say is that it's definitely my truth. It's definitely my truth. Came at the right time. Came at during the conjunction. Is right on point. It's my truth. How it shows up, it isn't pretty, but it is what it is. You don't have to agree with it. Remember, no one's here to be my best friend. Listen, my friends don't hold my hands when I make mistakes. They don't, you don't have to agree with anything I say. Remember that. That's a wonderful thing about you won't ever be required. This is not a cheerleading page. Sometimes you guys, are in sync with me. Sometimes you're like, FleurBrun, we're not feeling that. And you have a right. That's okay. I think that's, I grew up in New York. That's the way I roll. In New York, that's the one thing that I'm grateful about when I grew up in New York is that people always kept it real with you. And that's why I do appreciate growing up in that kind of environment is that I didn't get, you know, um, like, what do you call it? Passive, people always like, yeah, you're right. Nah. People tell you, they keep it real. Your friends will keep it real. Your professors will keep it real. Everybody keeps it real with you in New York. I do like that. Boston's like that too. It's allowed me to be a little more humble too. So I don't ever expect for you to be like, oh, we totally agree. You don't have to agree with me. This is something you may not, especially knowing who that is. I could see how you guys could see a certain way, but I had to tell you the truth. I could hide this. I could be like other people. Listen, I know other people who would hide it from you. I know the fact that they do. I know people who probably will engage in this negative twin flame and will hide it from you. They will hide it from you because of the repercussions of the truth. Who would acknowledge this publicly? They wouldn't. But I don't really. I'm not here for you to agree with everything. I'm not here for you to be hold my hand necessarily. But I do appreciate that you come here and experience a journey with me. Sometimes you need that. You need you need others to walk with you so it doesn't feel so lonely. So, like I said, I had to, and it's no shade. I don't want to disrespect him either because I've already done enough of that on social media. I've done enough of that mean spirited, judgmental, you are less than. I've done all that with him, and that isn't righteous either because that's why I pull back because everybody else did it. Like it isn't right. Um, it isn't right for me to. I did it because I felt really disgusted. Like I was really pissed off. I personalized it. It really made me angry. It made me angry because I'm like, you have so much potentiality. You have a big heart. Why aren't you doing better things? You have a good. You have the love of nature, but why aren't you doing it to cultivate the land? You have a love of women, but why are you hoarding them? This was always this was always my issue with that person. Seeing the potentiality and seeing them use it and misuse it in so many ways. So many ways. Oh, he is my twin. I know this one. I know it. If it didn't happen, listen, family. Um, one thing I say with you is that I wouldn't come here on this platform with all kind. Listen, the way that my family and I feel about this being, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. It happened to come during a time when the conjunction was happening. That's what I'm saying. Everything is relative. Whenever there's a planetary conjunction, see, I don't play with the planets, and I certainly won't ever question what happens in the ethers. That's one thing that I know when things are true. When things happen in the ethers, and when things happen during conjunctions or during planetary shifts, I know what's true. It's different when things happen on the earth plane and we kind of build it into conjecture, like things that we're guessing or just think we know because we know a lot of the truth, but we don't know everything. The difference is when it happens above and then it happens at pinnacle points in times and references, I know it's true. There isn't any, and solidifications of that showing up, synchronicity showing up. It's all showing up to basically solidify the truth. It is the truth. And the truth is, I haven't been a nice person. I haven't always been a nice person. I've done I've done some really rude things online, but I felt righteous in it. I felt righteous in it, and I felt justified because I felt like he. I felt more. Um, oh my gosh, Camp. Do you have the coronas? The corona, you have it? Camp says they have the corona. How are you feeling, my love? I'm sorry. Camp, how are you feeling? I'm so sorry, my love. How are you feeling? Camp, tell us how you feel. Hold on. I think a lot of people have it. Wait, where are you, Camp? You feeling horrible? I'm sorry, my love. Where are you? Are you home? You are? Okay. Sending you a lot of love and healing. I think a lot of people have it. I think it's going around. I think a lot of us have been exposed to it. Fever, cough, and all in the nose. Yuck. Okay. You sure you have it? Sending you a lot of healing and love, Camp. Okay? Feel better soon. You'll be fine. Okay? Make sure that if you feel any which way, don't be above and beyond getting some extra help, okay? Yes, stay hydrated. Um, Keep yourself warm. Keep the chest warm, okay? Sending you a lot of love. Feel better, Cam. Oh, Filmster said, don't subjugate yourself to him. And consult your guides in either. Take care and do put your daughters in vicinity. Absolutely. You know, Filmster, I'm on point with that. Remember, the one thing, Camp, that I do know, starve a fever, feed a cold. Whenever you have something that has to do, because remember, it's a form of like almost like flu-like viruses, you fast. Eating isn't the way. Hydration is okay. Make sure, because I think food, because you want your body to work on itself and to heal itself. And when we're eating all the time, it takes away from our body's ability to heal itself because it has to multitask. Take away you having to process food and totally make sure you're drinking liquids, warm things to keep your body warm, and also allow the body to heal itself. Because I know when we fast, a lot of times when I fast, my body absolutely heals everything quicker. It's like 1000%. So try to stay away from food at this time. I'm not a doctor. I'm not I'm not someone in a medical, but I do know that works. Okay. Oil of oregano's works amazing. Make sure one thing that I love is tea tree oil and sea salt. Gargle with that. You want to try to kill any of the spores in the throat area here. So tea tree oil and salt, gargle with that warm, drink warm teas, things that keep your chest warm, kind of keep that phlegm up, keep your chest, if you have any eucalyptus, do a little eucalyptus oil in the house, and also take baths or steaming. Selma, big up to Selma and Amy. Do the over the head, put a little pot with hot water, put eucalyptus in it, and steam your head. Okay, because they were telling me to do that 3-day fast. It'll get rid of it. Okay? So I wish you better, Cam. You got a lot of wonderful niestas on here. nano silver, remember with the 5G, I think nano silver works amazing. Let me say this. Nano silver works amazing. The only issue I had with nano silver was nano silver along with 5G. Because a thing about it is that I wanted to keep people from having too much metals inside of them at a time when they were kicking up the 5G. So I think if you're called to use it, then do what you're called to use. Your higher mind knows better. My suggestions come on based on what I know. Okay? Look at all these wonderful suggestions. You could shake off the cucarachas. A lot of people are suffering from it. And I think, like I said at the beginning of the telecast, I was saying a lot of people had interface with it, but it is the darkening. It is literally an aspect of the darkening. If you look at the dark crystal and the infection that happens before the merge, it is going to intercept with a lot of people. The borax pills out. Oh, borax. Oh, borax. Susu says the borax pulls out heavy metals, though, too. Ah, yes, Susu, you're correct. Borax is actually really good for that. You know what's crazy? My grandmother used to do borax baths back in the days. You know what's crazy? So borax, yeah. So if you don't want to take it, ingest it, take a borax bath. My grandmother used to do that. I just remembered that you said that, Susu. Thank you. Mama, sex with men, women abusing spouses, and uncomfortable. Um, Mama, Dia, sex with men, women abusing. I think it's disgusting. I agree, Carla. I agree with you, Carla. I think I think um yeah, that oh, April says yes to eucalyptus and peppermint in your humidifier. But make sure, I want to say this. Make sure whatever you're called to do, you do, Cam. So, if you're called to get extra help, if you feel scared, don't be afraid to get as long as you feel, because I want you to be healthy and I want you to make sure that you feel like you'll, overcome this. So, make sure if you need the extra help, find someone to assist you. Yeah, the bathing and that's good. Thank you, Sisu. Sisu brought up the borax because borax gets rid of a lot of things. Food grade. Um, um, oh yeah, borax. Thank you, David. Borax says neutralizes acid. It's outlawed. Susu, you said it's outlawed in Canada. Why? Borax? Why would they outlaw that in Canada? That doesn't make any sense. Why? Borax, you get rid of bugs too. People use borax to get rid of bugs because it works. That's crazy. Why'd they do that? Oh, it kills nanoparticles. That's cool. I agree. Oh, Shine says she's in Canada. She could still buy it. Ah, wait. Okay. Tisha says, FleurBrun, think of twinning, the science, a positive and negative becoming a ionic compounds. Thank you. You're absolutely correct. We knew it was going to be that, but I didn't know it would be so extreme. Listen, everything sounds good in theory until you actually make it go into bring it out of theory and make it tangible. Everything sounds good in theory until it becomes more tangible. It does. We'll be fine, family. Listen, I disclose this publicly. It is what it is. Um, I'm not. I think it's like a, it's a very weird revelation. But you'll be fine. Like again, be careful because if you have anything, like a lot of us, and for those who are on here, Make sure you aren't going, because even when I went in, make sure you aren't going into the hospital and saying, oh, you have the cucarachas. Be mindful, okay? Because you don't want to put yourself in harm's way, okay? So there's a difference between the allergies and the common cold than there is with the cucarachas, okay? Just be careful diagnosing yourself with something that you'd not, because you're putting a lot of transference of fear from watching all these shows on the cucarachas all day, every day. If you watch the cucarachas all day and if somebody's obsessing with the cucarachas all day, all you'll do is get obsessed and you'll have transference, okay? Transference of the ideology or the virus, okay? So make sure you aren't watching it all day. People obsess, like people will send me 50 million videos on the virus, the T virus, every day, all day. That's not healthy. Then you're going to start having symptoms based on transference. Be a little more, cognizant of those things. You know, it's okay to be aware and know what's going on, but definitely not to the point where you're obsessing with it. Like if you're watching it all day, you're going to have transference. And don't look at the pictures. That picture of the ball, the cell with all those little spikes off of it, I think that has some sort of sacred geometry infection. Don't look at that. But if you go along with my theory that everybody's been exposed to it already, everyone's been exposed to it. I think everyone's been exposed to it. You're gonna tell me that the cucarachas in Xinhua's neck of the woods, when they had it in January, China and the Xinhua and every country has been traveling back and forth for months, years, for a whole year. You're telling me that, oh, now when the cucarachas, no, they had 5G come online right before it happened and it activated something in certain people, okay? And we don't even know if those people were, we weren't there to witness that. So be careful with that. It was already here. So the cucarachas has been here. People are going back and forth. It's already been here. So then bringing all these tests. What about the common flu? How many people died of the flu this year? That was probably the forms of the cucaracha. So be careful with that. You've probably been exposed to it and your immune system has already acclimated to it. It's gone through its mutation. And a lot of this will also, I personally think that a lot of this will mutate to the point where your X gene factor will become awakened. That's also why I think they're separating us. I think it may awaken some codons in you that will express your X gene, your X-Men genes. So, you know, when it comes into interfaces with certain people, the mutation, why do you think the X-Men is all about mutations? What do you think it happens? What happens when something mutates that is genetically homogenized or built from something that is unnatural? It will create a mutation in you, and it might just be the catalyst to wake up the latent genes that they tell you are sleeping genes. So be careful with that. Everyone's been exposed to it. Everyone. And then projecting all this stuff, telling you how many people have it, da 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 da. Okay, fine. But it's already been here. And them perpetually putting, there's so many beautiful butterflies here. I'm seeing butterflies. For them perpetually putting out constant numbers, telling you how many people are going down, how many people, it's putting that in your head. Watch only what's necessary. Stay safe in however it's called for you to do. We are safe, family. The twin flame conjunction hasn't stopped. It is only began. So it is fine. Be unafraid that things are coming. You will only engage with things as necessary. Okay? FleurBrun is here, even though I share with you me having a revelation of my actual twin flame. It isn't making me do anything different. I'm still sitting here talking with you. I'm literally, oh, Corona equals crown. Thank you, Nick. That's right. It equals crown. That's interesting. Corona equals crown. So what does that mean? It might have some sort of activation. Oh, wait a second. You had Gigi, Fleur, you were in my dreams last night, and your family and your baby boy was in my very dream. It was very tropical. Oh, you dropped at my son? Thank you. That's a beautiful dream. I accept that. And for anyone who's asking the question, I love my mate. I'm with my mate. I'm not going to stop being with my mate. So if anybody was concerned about that, that isn't going to happen. Okay? I love him. He's the most amazing person. And he's sweet and he's loving and he honors me. So that's, if anybody questioned that, because I think that was a question before. Nah. Remember, the merging of the twin flames, it could be literally us. Maybe, well, in this situation with the twin that I have, I think it may just be a unilateral convergence. Maybe putting down, maybe there's a healing that I can give to this person. Maybe there's something that I have that he needs, because we think that he's so imbalanced, right? So if he's so imbalanced, what does he need? Maybe I'm the pill, like red pill, blue pill makes purple. Maybe I'm the pill that he needs. Maybe me putting down my judgment, not being so harmful and hateful to him, and sitting down and talking to him face to face, maybe I'm the remedy for, and maybe likewise, likewise. Okay? Maybe I think I can heal certain people. So why couldn't I heal somebody who's been harmed and mistreated as a child? I'm an advocacy for children. Why couldn't I sit with someone who's been harmed and hurt and is literally turned into something based on those pains? Why couldn't I do that? Is a possibility. I'm not saying I could, but I'm saying if we're thinking about the convergence, why can't the convergence just be a merging of two different mindsets in order to create a balance? So maybe. I don't know. I don't know that I can, and I don't know that I'm brave enough to do it, but maybe I can. I don't know. I don't know anything. Now I know I don't know everything. I don't know everything, but maybe I can. So we'll see. I remember, family, have trust in me. Know that I love my family. Know that I will only do what's righteous. Know that I will only do what's balanced and healthy for myself and my family and for anyone who's around me. If you know that about me, you shouldn't be concerned about me compromising that for anyone. I wouldn't compromise for anyone else previously. I wouldn't compromise for someone in the future. But if I sit with someone and I hear their truth, hear their truth, and they acknowledge mine, and we put down our swords. Maybe there is a way to merge light and dark that's healthy for him and I. For him and I. I've been hurt by someone who's like him. So for some healing, maybe I need to sit with someone who's been hurt and see why they do that. And maybe he has to sit with someone who's been cultivated and loved and see what that is personally with my background. I out of all of the people that I've seen him be with, there hasn't been one that has been reminiscent of myself. My background, how I've been raised with the love and cultivation, maybe that's what he needs, to have someone around him who represents light in a healthy way. Maybe that's all it is. We don't know. I can't say. I don't know everything. And there needn't be any children involved. Remember, any children around me are safe. That I can guarantee, and gratefully that will always be the case. But I'm talking about as adults. We're not talking about merging children and families. What it goes on in his camp, that's what he does. But I'm talking about sitting and remember who I am at my core. So we'll see. We'll see. I don't right now I'm saying I'm not as wise as I thought, and I'm certainly not as brave. So this won't happen anytime soon because I'm just not that brave yet. I'm not that brave. I'm just talking, this is just what could happen. But I'm not wise enough because I'm not able to resolve this right now. I know, but I can't resolve it. So it means I'm not wise enough or strong enough and I'm not brave enough quite yet. Maybe one day, but not now. So, you know, Anyway, family, I'm all sweaty. Anyway, I want everyone to have a beautiful day. And I hope this doesn't hurt anyone. I hope this doesn't hurt anyone and disappoint anyone. Um, it's gonna be interesting next couple weeks, though. I will say this, and I hope everybody is well and safe, and I hope everything's well. I will fast on it. Believe me, family, I will fast on it. I will I can fast on it. Whenever I don't know something, I will fast on it. I will definitely ponder on it. But it's okay. It's okay. And I'm well, and my babies are well, gratefully, and my maid is well. Everything is okay. I just had to share. And I share sometimes just because it's just being, I don't know, it's being brutally honest sometimes. And if I wasn't, like I said, family, I probably would keep this to myself if I was a little less seasoned. I'm a little, I, I, I fear less of, I fear less of certain things. Like, because I was always a geek. Maybe it's because I was a geek as a child. I was a little geeky. So maybe I fear less of certain things like your judgment because I was judged a lot as a child because I was really weird and geeky. So this isn't judgment I worry about. It's my own disappointment. It's my disappointment in myself. It's my disappointment that I went on tangents on twin flames, and I know twin flames, and I know absolutely everything, and the twin flames is amazing, and I know this, da 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 da. But the one thing that I did talk about, I did say, is that there would be the opposite equal end. And if I'm talking and always referencing the dark crystal, why wouldn't I ever think that a skexy is something that most of us wouldn't want to merge with? And then a mystic, why wouldn't I put that and equate it to our merging? Why wouldn't I add that to the mix? It's almost like, okay, I want everything else, but I'm not going to bring that in. That's just as poignant as anything else. A skexy is not something that you know what I mean? Or a mystic. And who's to say I'm the mystic? Who's to say I'm the mystic? There's times when I show up as a skexy, I'm sure in certain people's world. You know what I mean? Everything's perception. So a perception of maybe to him I'm like a skexy and he's the mystic. You know what I mean? Everyone's judgment is based on their own sense of reality. So in that in itself, I think that's what it is. And I think maybe part of the reason why he shows up the way he does is because he wants the ultimate mother. I am that. That I can give myself. I don't give myself the credit for other things, but I am the ultimate mother. I protect children and animals with precise, amazing vigor. I will give my life for children and animals. I'm that person. So maybe that's it. And also from a perspective, maybe instead of me judging people from a high horse, because most people who have issues with me, if you ever hear them, most people have issues with me. They say that I'm a know-it-all. You ever heard when people talk about me? Oh, she thinks she knows it all. Oh, she has this God complex. The same thing they say about him, but from a different perspective. Oh, she thinks she knows it all. She knows everything. Maybe I can be humbled. There's aspects of myself that I need to learn. Different points of view. So, family, I'm not going to stay on long. It's going to be interesting. Watch the journey. The twin flame phenomenon has really changed the way that it looks. I look forward to more revelations. It has happened. I wish everybody so much healing and health, good health. This is an amazing time on the planet. We have literally a collapsing of the system, and we should not be shocked to see a collapsing of those polarities that we've actually been helping to perpetuate. So in the social distancing, that's what they're trying to purposefully enforce. That is something that we need to fight. I will tell you that. We are to love each other. We are to stay united. You are to stay connected to each other. This is our time to be interconnected and to build in unity consciousness. So if I am the first step into unity consciousness and I maybe have to be humbled and grow up and put on my big girl panties, Yeah, I don't agree with panties and bras, but if maybe I need to grow up, and maybe this is the first step, maybe just to see and also heal. If we want to be the change we want to see in the world, parts of that won't be so pretty, and we will have to step sometimes in positions of uncomfortability in order to heal an aspect that needs to be remedied. And if we watch, I'm going to watch Dark Crystal. I'm going to go inside because the pollen is bonkers out here in Florida. You hear my nose is really, and I had these in today. Wait, they're in my, oh, I don't want to go deep in there. Wait, I had these in today. I took them out because they were really uncomfortable because I started getting a little nasally. But I hope you guys have your HEPAs. Remember your nose things, your nose pluggies. I had them in. I took them out. So, Dollface, is your birthday? Ah, bon anniversaire, my love. Is it your birthday? Dollface. Oh my gosh. That's one of our own. Blissful anniversaire, my love. Is yours on Wednesday? You know what? Big happy birthday to everyone. A blissful anniversary to everyone on here. You beautiful Pisces. We're going to go into Aries season, so just know it's going to be really crazy. And just know, family, I'm not going to hide anything from you. If you want to know stuff, I'm pretty open. This is just shocking to me, and like I said, I was really sad, and I don't want to be disrespectful because this is a journey, and we all came on these journeys. Oh, you're Aries. Oh, it's Aries season already? Is it Aries season already? Oh, snap. Oh, snap. It's Aries season. Oh, snap. That's why. That's why my twin flame came out. That's so funny. Big up to all the Aries in the house, you fire signs. You know I get down with y'all heavy. I love you, Dollface. Listen, you fire signs. Of course you would bring. Of course you would bring a revelation like this. I should have known better. I should have known we were entering into Aries season because this is only kind of truth could come in a fire sign. Oh my goodness, you fire signs. I rocks with you. I sound like Dilo the pilot. I really appreciate him. He's got such saucy talk, but I love when he gets all saucy. I really am down with you, fire signs. Thank you for bringing revelation and family. Listen, this is FleurBrun. I'm not. Let me put a PSA, PSI, PS. What is it? For your information. What is it? PS. Personal. What is it? PSI or PSA? PSA. 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 Let me put a PSA. I'm not sleeping with my twin flame. If you're concerned, I won't bring around my children around my twin flame. You should be unconcerned with me compromising the safety of myself or you guys based on this. You know my heart. You know what my overall agenda for being here on this earth is. Take that and just know that and have ownership in that. There hasn't been a man alive who's ever made me compromise my safety after my savage, narcissist, Nazi. I've learned a lot from being with a Nazi, and now I know why I had to have that boot camp. It taught me a lot about myself. I'm not a little girl anymore. I know a lot of you have grown up with me as a young lady on here. I've grown into my womanhood. I'm very much in love with myself. I've learned to love myself, so know this. Because I love myself, know that my choices will always be based on that. And know if you thought I questioned myself, know, at least you know how I feel about my daughters, okay? And my son. All right. So I know my worry, it was disappointing in certain ways. A public service announcement. Thank you, Amani. I was disappointed. That's all. I don't want to be disrespectful to him either. It's not him, it's me. It was my judgment on me. It has nothing to do with him. I was disappointed because I have judgment. I have judgment. That's a judgment. For me to be disappointed in my twin flame, that's all based in judgment, family. I'm letting you know, I'm keeping it real. It's all judgment. That is totally ego. That's all in my ego. Disappointed because I wanted my twin flame to be exactly who I'm with. I wanted my twin flame, if it wasn't who I'm with, I wanted them to be like this grandiose person that I could totally put out to the world, and I could totally tell you, oh my God, this is my twin flame. I'm disappointed in myself because I put on a show of something not knowing fully that it would show up in such a real way that literally it's real. Like it's that real. It's so real that it's not even pretty. That's how real it is. It's not even pretty. So that's it. Anyway, I'm okay. But like I said, if I if I get a little wisdom, I'm going to fast. I think I need to fast for myself again. I'm fasting all the time. I'm going to fast, family. I'm kind of in a fast now. Um, so that I can further solidify what's going on. And now and so I can know what action um should be taken. I'll know what's needed. I'll know what's needed. That's all. I'll wait. I know that whatever's righteous will come easily and effortlessly to me. So I'll allow that. Okay? I'll allow it. And be patient with me. I'm learning just like you. I'm not a master teacher. I'm not a guru. I'm not a guru. I'm just FleurBrun. Um I'm a regular person with ordinary issues, okay? The difference is I've been a contactee, um, and I have really cool supernatural experiences, what I love. I didn't love them initially, but I love the supernatural stuff that I experience. It's kind of cool. Um, but I guess you'll just, see through me, right? Sorry, family. I know I'm going to end on this. I've seen several different messages. I know. Listen, the first person I told today nearly threw up in their mouths. They were so like, but it isn't a lie. It was during the convergence. It's the truth. And it was already known. It's not, let me just state this. It was already known subconsciously. There was a knowing and he already knew. This isn't something it's shocking only that it wasn't what I wanted. Let me keep it real. It wasn't what I wanted. But what you want is not necessarily what's righteous all the time. Polarities have to end. And we have to show up in unity consciousness. And if we're going to be united front, we have to be the change we see in the world. We have to be the first expressions of the end of duality. And we have to show it within ourselves by example. All right, family. I love you. I think I'll leave. I don't know. Maybe I'll leave a video. I guess I'll leave the video up. I don't know. If you want, I don't. I really. I'm just. I have a loss of words a little bit. But I love you. It's all good. I'm all good. I'm gonna go chill out. I wish I was a superhero. Thank you. I wish I was. If I was a superhero, I could make everything happen like that. I really could. I guess it's like, when you like, this is like one of those, like you're at the top of a lot of you play video games. Like this is like the top level of the video game. Like you get in the hardest challenge ever. This is 2020. This is literally Survivor 2020. Matrix. Real time. It's crazy. I know. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm strong in this way, but I'm weak in other ways. All right, my loves. I love you. Be well. If you guys can get out in nature, go ahead. I'm gonna sit under my wisdom tree and ask her for guidance, okay? If I don't know anything more, I always go to nature. Nature doesn't lie to me. Literally. So I'm gonna go to nature and just figure it out. All right? And we'll see. Yeah. It may it may be it may not be as bad as we think. All right? So I will talk to you and I'll come back in another video, not based on this. Just give me time to digest this, family. So if you don't see me for a while, it's just I'm digesting it. Okay? I love you. Be good. Be well. Peace.